Today, let's have some fun and explore the names and backgrounds of all the angels you've never heard of. This episode is part of a three-part series that will cover 76 angelic beings. I will tell you what text or tradition they are found in and their background and characteristics. Be sure to share this with a friend. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we dive into ancient lore and rediscover the angels that have shaped history and tradition. Abaddon. Apollyon, the angel of the abyss. Abaddon is not the sort of angel you invite to a birthday party unless you want the cake vaporized. Known in Hebrew as Abaddon, destruction, and in Greek as Apollyon, the destroyer. He emerges dramatically in Revelation 9 verse 11 as the king of a swarm of demonic locusts unleashed from the bottomless pit. In the Hebrew Bible, he begins not as a person but as a place, a shadowy underworld realm mentioned in Job and Proverbs. But early Jewish thought gradually sharpened him into a figure who rules over the chasm of chaos. By the 1st century AD, Christian apocalyptic imagination had upgraded him from ominous location to angelic supervillain. Though terrifying, Abaddon is not evil in the traditional demonic sense. He is more like heaven's demolition contractor, tearing down what must be cleared away before the final renewal. Historical rabbis associated him with Sheol, the realm of the dead, and some Christian theologians saw him as a symbol of divine judgment that goes where humans fear to tread. If you ever think, this needs to be destroyed so something better can start, somewhere deep in the cosmos, Abaddon nods approvingly. But you still probably shouldn't let him near your sandcastle. 2. Adnakiel, the Sagittarian wanderer. Adnakiel steps lightly through Renaissance magical texts as the angel ruling the sign of Sagittarius, utterly at home among philosophers, travelers, archers, and impulsive free spirits. His name appears in 15th to 17th century esoteric angel lists where scholars attempted to overlay the zodiac with a choir of celestial guardians, turning astrology into something a bishop could stomach. Adnakiel embodies boldness, exploration, and independence, the spiritual patron of those who pack a bag on a whim or suddenly decide to find themselves in a foreign country. His influence was invoked by Renaissance magicians seeking freedom of thought, creative inspiration, and guidance in the unknown. One imagines him overseeing each Sagittarian impulse with gentle amusement. Sure, chase that dream. Just bring extra water. If your life has ever taken an exciting but poorly planned detour, there's a decent chance Adnakiel was whispering encouragement while trying not to laugh. 3. Adriel, the quiet guardian of the departed. Adriel occupies a solemn corner of Jewish and Christian apocryphal tradition, the angel who solemnly shepherds souls into the afterlife. While Azrael often steals the spotlight as the angel of death, Adriel is the calm, steady coworker ensuring every soul ends up where it belongs. In some mystical texts, he functions like a spiritual usher, guiding spirits through the boundaries between life and eternity. In others, he acts as a stern but compassionate escort, reminding mortals that life is fleeting and accountability is real. His origins likely lie in late antique angelology, around the 2nd to 5th centuries AD, when Jews and early Christians were developing more vivid concepts of the afterlife. Adriel feels like the celestial equivalent of a soft-spoken bouncer, polite, unhurried, but firm. If heaven had a velvet rope, he's the one checking names, raising a knowing eyebrow, and murmuring, "Sorry friend, looks like you're booked for Sheol today." 4. Acatriel, the crown-bearer of heaven. In the shimmering corridors of early Jewish mysticism, Acatriel stands as the crown of God, a luminous being entrusted with carrying prayers from earth up through the 7 heavenly palaces. Featured in Merkabah and Hekkelot literature, especially 3 Enoch, Acatriel embodies divine majesty and the overwhelming radiance of God's throne. His presence is so magnificent that the mystics described him as glowing with the crown of God itself, a being one encounters only after ascending through layers of spiritual preparation, purification, and peril. Yet despite this grandeur, his day-to-day duties resemble celestial customer service, sorting petitions, organizing requests, and ensuring even the smallest whisper of a mortal reaches the divine. It's easy to picture him surrounded by scrolls, glowing post-it notes, and a halo slightly askew from rushing between heaven's departments. If you've ever prayed and wondered where your message went, imagine a catriel saying kindly, "Your prayer is important to us. Please hold." 5. Amriel, the deliverer of judgment. Amriel's name surfaces in medieval mystical lists as the angel responsible for delivering or executing divine judgment. Not nearly as famous as the archangels, Amriel works behind the scenes, ensuring God's decrees permeate the moral fabric of the world. He is the cosmic court clerk, precise, dignified, and quietly formidable. Appearing mainly in medieval Jewish mysticism, likely within Kabbalistic spheres, Amriel was imagined as the one who carries the verdicts from the supernal court of heaven down to human history. When justice finally catches up with wrongdoing after years of delay, mystics might say Amriel finally stamped the paperwork. His biography has a solemn weight, yet with a touch of humor one might picture him clutching an enormous celestial clipboard, muttering as he reviews a case file. Whenever you get the sudden feeling, "Is someone keeping score?" Amriel is probably flipping a page. 6. Anael/Haniel, the angel of love and joy. Anael, or Haniel, depending on the tradition, shines through Kabbalistic literature and Renaissance occultism as the angel of beauty, love, charm, and the sphere of Venus. Where some angels wield swords of fire or oversee cosmic judgment, Anael wields candlelight, laughter, and the flutter of romance. In medieval Jewish mysticism, Haniel presides over the Sephira of Netzach, a realm of victory, endurance, and emotional harmony. Renaissance magicians linked Anael with enchantment, attraction, and joyful creativity. Although never reduced to Cupid-like caricature, Anael absolutely carries the romantic energy portfolio in heaven's administration. You can imagine them sprinkling rose petals over awkward first dates or guiding lonely poets to inspiration. If your heart ever quickened unexpectedly or you smiled for no logical reason on a Friday evening, Anael probably nudged you gently and whispered, "Open up, love is near." 7. Anaphiel, heaven's steadfast prince. In the often labyrinthine world of Jewish mystical literature, Anaphiel stands out as one of the mighty Serim, the great heavenly princes. Appearing in 3 Enoch, he is described as a towering being of fire who helps govern the celestial realms beneath the supreme archangel Metatron. If Metatron is heaven's CEO, Anaphiel is the COO, ensuring divine processes function smoothly. His mantle includes safeguarding the glory of God, managing the heavenly armies, and organizing the spiritual hierarchies that keep creation running. Despite the awe surrounding him, it's easy to imagine Anaphiel as the long-suffering administrator drowning in flaming paperwork. He holds authority surpassed only by a few, yet remains humble, dedicated, and unwavering. Every time cosmic order prevails instead of cosmic chaos, Anaphiel likely had a hand in it, and probably needs a nap. 8. Arael, the swift-winged wrath. Arael is an enigmatic angel tied both to birds and to divine wrath, creating one of the more unusual job descriptions in mystical literature. Some later Kabbalistic sources depict him as a fierce warrior whose movements mirror the swift flight of hunting birds. Others connect him to the spiritual symbolism of wings, freedom, and the sky's vast expanse. Arael embodies both inspiration and destruction, the fierce gust before a storm, the protective swoop of a raptor defending its nest. With this dual nature, he becomes the patron of birdwatchers with a spiritual streak and warriors seeking clarity and precision. Imagine him perched above a battlefield like a silent falcon, judging when a storm of divine justice should be unleashed. 9. Ariel, the Lion of God and Keeper of Earth. Ariel, whose name roars with meaning, Lion of God, is one of the most beloved angels in mystical lore. Appearing in early apocryphal works and blossoming in later esoteric traditions, Ariel presides over nature, the elements, and the living world. Some texts portray Ariel as the guardian of creation's hidden places, forests, oceans, mountain ranges, and all creatures great and small. He is sometimes placed as an intermediary between angels and nature spirits, bridging heaven and the earth's raw beauty. Later occult writers treated Ariel as a kind of elemental archangel, helping humans connect with the natural world. Ariel is the angel who celebrates every sunrise, who knows the secret path of rivers, and who mourns when forests fall. If you've ever felt unexpectedly moved by nature, Ariel may have been walking beside you, whispering, "Remember, this world is sacred." 10. Ariel, the angel of waters and the deep. Ariel, sometimes spelled Ariel, glides through Jewish mystical and Talmudic tradition as the angel of water, fish, and the mysteries of the sea. For ancient fishermen, Ariel was a quiet patron who could bless their catches or calm the waves. Some stories credit him with healing ailments connected to water or guiding travelers across treacherous rivers. Others suggest he whispers ancient secrets to those willing to listen near the shoreline, secrets held in the depths since creation's dawn. His biography reflects humanity's fascination with water as both life-giving and dangerous. One can picture Ariel watching over oceans with serene patience, occasionally shrugging when confronted about the one that got away. To fishermen, explorers, and dreamers staring out across the waves, he is the gentle guardian reminding them that the deep is full of wonder. 11. Asmodel. In the mystical astrological texts that flowered between the 12th and 13th centuries, sages wrote of an angel named Asmodel, whose very name was whispered to mean something akin to God's patience or divine strength. They described him as the celestial regent of Taurus, the spring sign whose patience and endurance mirror the steady greening of the earth. Practitioners invoked Asmodel not for sudden miracles, but for the kind of slow, stalwart support that makes crops root and promises hold. They said that Asmodel could steady the wavering heart and fill a person with the loyalty and discipline needed to build a life brick by patient brick. To those medieval mystics, Asmodel was the angel who moved with the pace of mountains, quiet, unshakable, and profoundly faithful. 12. Adaphiel. Rabbinic commentators of the first millennium CE preserved the memory of Adaphiel, an angel whose name likely meant God surrounds. They described him as one of the cosmic pillars who supports the heavens, a being whose existence is inseparable from the order of creation itself. Adaphiel never speaks in these traditions. Instead, his biography is expressed through the cosmic role he fulfills. He is imagined as standing eternally at the threshold between the upper and lower worlds, his vast form bracing the sky so that the universe does not collapse into chaos. In him, the rabbis saw the quiet, stabilizing force of divine structure, an angel who embodies the very architecture of the cosmos. 13. Azazel. The figure of Azazel emerges first from the 5th century BC book of Leviticus, where his name, possibly meaning God strengthens, rugged cliff, or even scapegoat, marks him as the mysterious destination for the sins of Israel. By the 3rd to 2nd century BCE, in the pages of 1 Enoch, Azazel's story expands. No longer a mere symbol in a ritual, he becomes a fallen watcher, a heavenly being who descended to earth and taught mortals the art of weaponry and vanity, adorning themselves with war and ornamentation. His teachings made humanity powerful, but dangerously so, and he becomes bound beneath the desert's jagged rocks, awaiting judgment. Through these traditions, Azazel is remembered as a being of misused brilliance, the angel whose gifts exposed humanity's capacity to turn divine knowledge toward destruction. 14. Azrael, Malik al-Maut. In the 7th to 8th century CE, Islamic tradition gave solemn shape to Azrael, the Malik al-Maut, whose name means God helps. Later Jewish mystics would adopt him as well, recognizing in him the angel who gently severs the soul from the body at the ordained moment of death. They wrote that he keeps a celestial ledger in which every creature's lifespan is inscribed, and when a name fades from that book, Azrael appears, silent, compassionate, unhurried. Though feared by mortals, he is portrayed not as an executioner but a guide, a being who approaches with the tenderness of divine mercy. In the lore that surrounds him, Death is not a theft, but a carefully tended transition, and Azrael is the one who carries the soul safely across that final threshold. Barakiel. Between the 6th and 9th centuries, Eastern Christian theologians composed hymns and icons honoring Barakiel, whose name means blessing of God. They depicted him as an archangel robed in gentle radiance, sometimes with rose petals scattered across his garment, symbols of the abundance and familial harmony he bestows. Barakiel was invoked by households seeking peace, by parents praying for unity, and by communities yearning for reconciliation. His capability was not thunderous or warlike. It was the quiet miracle of softening anger, repairing bonds, and infusing ordinary lives with divine favor. In Orthodox iconography, Barakiel stands as the angel of domestic grace, a luminous reminder that holiness can dwell in the simplest acts of love. Barakiel. In the 3rd to 2nd century BCE text of 1 Enoch, the watcher Barakiel, his name blazing with the meaning lightning of God, crashes into the story of humankind like a storm across desert skies. As one of the angels who descended to earth, he taught mortals the art of reading the nebulae and constellations, unveiling the secrets of astrology. Yet this gift, like lightning itself, was double-edged, knowledge that could illuminate destiny or tempt humanity into presumption. Later mystics softened his reputation, seeing in his fiery name not corruption but inspiration, a spark of insight for poets, scholars, and seekers. From fallen watcher to heavenly muse, Barakiel's legacy reflects the dangerous wonder of celestial knowledge. 17. Chamuel. When medieval Christian mystics of the 12th century spoke of Camel, their voices held both awe and caution. His name, meaning he who sees God, suggested an angel who stood terrifyingly close to the divine presence. They portrayed him as an agent of divine justice and courage, a warrior whose flaming sword cuts through lies and moral confusion. Though sometimes numbered among the archangels in later esoteric systems, Camel remained a figure of righteous severity, never cruel, but unyielding. To medieval believers, he was the angel invoked when a soul needed strength to confront injustice, the guardian who infused mortals with holy resolve for the battles that shape character. 18. Cassiel. From the chill and contemplative depths of 10th to 13th century Kabbalistic and Arabic astral lore rises Cassiel, the angel whose name has been interpreted as Veil of God or Speed of God. As the regent of Saturn, Cassiel governs the slow-turning cycles of time, solitude, and destiny. Mystics portrayed him as a somber but compassionate presence who accompanies hermits, wanderers, and all who endure the long winters of the soul. Though he is associated with tears and restraint, his role is not to burden but to guide, teaching that certain truths can be found only in silence and certain strengths forged only in isolation. Cassiel's biography is the story of an angel who rules the quiet places in which fate takes shape. 19. Chayil. The ancient Chayil HaKodesh, the holy living creatures described in early Jewish mysticism and later 13th century Kabbalah, move in fiery ranks around the divine throne, and above them rises their chief, Chayil, whose name springs from the word Chayo, meaning living ones. Chayil commands these thunderous beings whose wings churn the fabric of creation and whose chants shake the heavens. To see Chayil in a vision was to stand at the heart of the Merkava, the divine chariot, engulfed in a storm of living fire. In him, mystics recognized the raw, ecstatic vitality of God's presence, the force that animates and sustains all existence, both terrifying and breathtaking. 20. Daniel. Among the watchers described in 1 Enoch in the 3rd to 2nd century BCE, there walked an angel named Daniel, his name meaning God is my judge. Unlike some of his brethren who taught humans vanity or violence, Daniel imparted lessons of judgment and discernment, how to weigh choices and understand consequences. Yet even this gift, noble in itself, became dangerous when offered outside divine sanction. Some later readers cast him among the fallen, seeing his role as a cautionary tale about wisdom used prematurely. Others imagine him as a tragic figure, condemned because his teachings were warped by human frailty. In either view, Daniel stands at the crossroads where moral knowledge becomes both salvation and snare. 21. W. The Talmudic sages of the 3rd to 6th centuries CE told of W, the guardian angel of Persia, whose name means bear of God. In their legends, the mysterious Prince of Persia, who delays the angelic messenger in the book of Daniel, is none other than W, an advocate for his nation in the celestial court. Unlike angels of universal roles, W is vividly political, embodying the fortunes and ambitions of an empire. His presence demonstrates the ancient belief that nations, like individuals, have spiritual patrons whose debates and rivalries above mirror the conflicts below. In W, the heavens become a stage of cosmic diplomacy, where the fate of kingdoms is argued in angelic tones. 22. Duma, the silent watcher of the afterworld. In the vast and intricate tapestry of Jewish lore, few figures are as quietly compelling as Duma, the angel whose very name means silence. Emerging in the Talmud, Midrash, and later Jewish mysticism, Duma occupies a realm that lies between fear and reverence, the solemn hush that follows life's final breath. He is described as the guardian of the dead, watching over souls as they wait for judgment, a sentinel who rules not with a sword or fiery proclamation, but with an unyielding, contemplative stillness. Early rabbinic sages, around 200 to 600 CE, debated his nature. Was Duma compassionate, offering the newly departed a moment of peace after the tumult of life? Or was he stern, enforcing the heavy silence that reminds each soul of the gravity of eternity? The mystics added further depth, portraying him as commander of tens of thousands of death angels, a silent general whose presence alone maintains order in the shadowed world beyond the living. Yet for all his authority, Duma remains a figure of quiet meaning rather than dread, embodying the calm before revelation and the breathless pause in which truth can finally be heard. And if one were to imagine him among the heavenly hosts, he would surely be the eternal librarian of the afterlife, shushing rowdy cherubim with a patient sigh. 23. Elamiah. Kabbalists of the 12th and 13th centuries praised Elamiah, whose name was often read as Toward God My Oath, or Hidden God, as the guardian of travel, exploration, and courageous beginnings. They believed he walked beside sailors crossing dangerous seas and wanderers stepping into unknown lands, shielding them from misfortune. But Elamiah also guided inner journeys, the commitments and transformations that reshape a person's destiny. To invoke him was to seek clarity amid uncertainty, to invite divine protection along a path that could not yet be seen. Where Elamiah walked, the road became a little clearer and the traveler a little braver. 24. Jeremiel, lantern-bearer of the afterlife. Jeremiel steps out of the misty edge of the apocalyptic imagination, first appearing in 2 Esdras around the 1st century CE as the angel appointed over the abyss and the imprisoned souls. His presence in the story of Ezra is almost tender. Rather than frightening the prophet, he guides him gently, explaining the mysteries of the afterlife with the patience of a seasoned teacher. Jeremiel stands between heaven and the underworld, not to terrify the dead but to help them, and the living, understand what comes next. Later Christian mystics merged him with Jeremiel, the angel of dreams and visions, making him a favorite companion of seekers who close their eyes and hope that heaven sends something more than darkness back. He is the luminous guide who knows the secrets of both sorrow and hope, the angel who holds humanity's hand when its greatest fear, the unknown, comes calling. In a lighter moment, one might picture him as the afterlife's travel agent, handing out brochures with polite enthusiasm. Here is the realm of peace. Here is the realm of purification. And over here is, well, the gift shop is closed, but the view is excellent. Through him, humanity's fear of death becomes a little less heavy, for he walks beside us where the map ends. 25. Gabriel, herald of the turning ages. Gabriel's wings brush across the pages of 3 major religions, his voice echoing through the centuries as the ultimate messenger of God. Appearing first in the book of Daniel, he is the interpreter of mysteries, the the one who knows what dreams mean and how history will unfold. Centuries later, he becomes the archangel who announces the births of John the Baptist and Jesus, delivering news that would reshape civilization. In Islam, Gabriel, Jibril, becomes even more central as the angel who brings the Quran to Muhammad. Gabriel is the hinge on which history swings, the courier whose messages ignite revolutions of the spirit. His presence reminds humanity that divine communication is never abstract. It always arrives in a moment of need, in the confusion of dreams, or the trembling of ordinary people asked to do extraordinary things. And with a touch of humor, Gabriel can be imagined as heaven's tireless mailman, the one who never loses a letter, never misses a delivery, and whose packages happen to be world-changing revelations. Rain or shine, holy birth or end times trumpet blast, Gabriel always shows up on time.